Hey guys, so hopefully you're back with us. As you can see, we had a little bit of problem with technology, but we are back and ready to rock and roll. So for those of you who joined us earlier and saw that we had our technical issues, thank you for your patience. Oh, technology, you gotta love it, right?
I'm
Okay.
telling you, it's crazy.
All right, but it's part of life, so we'll just have to go with the flow because, again, without technology, we would not be here to do this today. So, hey,
That's
listen,
right. That
look.
means somebody really needs this, what we're getting ready to talk about. That's what
Okay,
it
all right.
means. Yeah.
All right, so we see, I like the positive attitude. So, guys, if you can go ahead and just share on your respective pages for us and join us again, that will be awesome and it will definitely help us. Okay, guys. So, um, we're just getting ready. So, Jerome, if you can mute what's on your side because I can hear myself.
Yep.
No playing of the
We're
toys over
good.
there. No
We're
playing of the
good.
toys here. All right. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for rejoining with us. Yes, Allison, here we are again. And for the rest of you guys who haven't, shared as yet, please free to go ahead. I see Howard also, and I am going to sign into another account so that I can see everything. Allison, I see that you have shared for us. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So guys, all right. So again, my name is Judy Ann Chung, and I am the leadership coach and the owner of Coaching You Upward, wherein I focus on go-getters, high performers who just simply wants to get it done and basically move their ideas from concept to reality. In addition to that, I also have an extreme passion for women. I wonder why. Anyway, so within terms of the woman, would like to help them to regroup, refocus, and revision, and just go after the life, the rewarding life that awaits them and the life that they deserve. So that's just a little bit about me. But the topic that we will be discussing today is basically how do you separate yourself from the competition in terms of, just that, how do you stand out? What do you do? What are some of the tools that you utilize that will help you to stand out in the crowd? So again, here we are. So my guest today is Jerome Williams, and he's a serial entrepreneur. I have known this gentleman for many years, seen him doing multiple different businesses. I think sometimes maybe, multiple businesses at the same time. So he's never been someone who just sit to the side and not do anything. And I think, Jerome, I knew you back from the time when you were in corporate America, and I think you just had your share of it. I said, okay, that's enough for me. I got to get out of
Yep.
this, right? So,
Absolutely. Yep.
right. So Jerome has over 30 years experience in the business experience, and he spent 13 years in corporate America and 17 years as a business owner. In 2001, he and a few partners, they purchased the rights as a master franchisee for Fantastic Sam hair salons. And then he would help the franchisees in terms of marketing, managing, and advertising, etc., real estate training, finding the right location, etc. So as you can tell, he would have a breadth of experience there. Then, as if that wasn't enough, then he went on in 2007 to create the National Franchise Ventures LLC, which basically was a consulting services for different kind of franchisors, and providing consulting services to them. Then again, as if that was not enough, he then decided that he's going to start another company, which he's also the owner of, for gigantic cleanups and construction, which I'm well aware that in addition to that, he has a lot of different certifications. I think that he went out and he took to just make sure that his business stay, atop a lot of different regulatory requirements, etc. And again, as if that was not enough, Jerome was also, a member of the Greater Mercy Chamber of Commerce for Diversity Committee. and the International Franchise Association Diversity Committee, and a former member of the Diversity Board of Merrill Lynch in Red Bank, New Jersey. So as you can see, why I tagged this man, this serial entrepreneur, as if to say, he must be clowned multiple different times. I don't know how he does it. But what I am going to do is that I'm going to just hand it over to Jerome Williams for a second, just to see if he wants to say anything else about himself. Jerome?
Well, thanks, Julianne. But in the essence of time, since we lost a little bit of time, I'll just keep it short and brief. But currently, yes, I own Gigantic Cleanups and Construction. We're a disaster restoration and emergency services corporation that focuses on water restoration, water removal, mold remediation, smoke and fire restoration, allergy abatement, and construction services, pretty much on a larger scale. And we're housed in Hamilton, New Jersey, right in the center of New Jersey. We cover New Jersey, Pennsylvania, with some aspirations to grow to some other states. So I'll leave it like that for now.
Okay. As I said, aspirations to go to other states. He just never stops. Anyway, so all right. So which is wonderful. So thanks for agreeing to come on with me today. Much appreciated. And again, guys, for all of you who are currently watching who have not yet shared the live, please go ahead and do so. And thanks for joining us. We appreciate your support. And feel free to participate. As I always said, without you, this live will not be as fun. And, as you know, I always want my lives to be fun. I want you to participate. I just don't want a dialogue between Jerome and myself. So I'm going to be obviously interviewing, but I also will welcome questions from you. And as a matter of fact, put him on the spot. Ha! Let's have some fun.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to do.
Okay, we'll just be gentle. Okay, we'll be kind. Okay, all right. So guys, as I said, the purpose of this particular live is basically how do you separate yourself from the competition, and it's geared to specifically towards coaching. So one of the first things that I wanted to ask Jerome, for the people who are listening, how would you define what coaching means to you?
Okay. And so that's a very good question. And when you brought up the topic of separating yourself from the competition, with coaching being one of those landmark pieces, I had to really reflect on how coaching has played a part in my life from as way back as a teenager, and in various different fields such as sports, professionally in the corporate world, as well as business wise. And so when I think about that, coaching means a lot of things. So I'm going to throw out some nuggets, and I hope some people grab some of this. But coaching to me is training. It's synonymous with training. And when someone gets serious about their craft, their profession, their business, their career, coaching should play a major part in their aspiration to become the best in that particular field, industry, what have you. So coaching to me is training. Coaching also means that you've decided to work smarter and not harder. I know one of the terms used out here nowadays is I'm on my grind, and that type of lingo, which is fine because it sounds cool. However, you don't want to grind forever. You want to be able to work smarter. And smarter and not harder. So that's another thing coaching means to me. Coaching means that you're wise enough to take advantage of someone's expertise and experience in your area of interest. So I'll let that sink in for a minute. It also means that you're firmly committed to reach a goal that you may not be able to reach on your own, or that will take you a little longer to reach if you try or you continue to try doing it alone. Coaching means accelerated growth and quicker goal attainment. Coaching also means it can decrease your learning curve and minimize expensive mistakes. And I've seen that a lot. Coaching means that you've decided to stop being mediocre, or you've decided not to even delve into mediocrity in the first place, meaning right out the gate in your business, your profession, your personal, you decided, okay, I'm not going to get complacent. I'm just going to go right after a good coach. Coaching
Right.
means preparation, and preparation can lead to confidence. It should lead to additional confidence, and that confidence will lead to peak performance, if that makes
So
sense.
you have given us a whole lot of
Yes,
what
indeed.
coaching means, right? So,
Yes.
guys, even just with what my first question out of the box, right? You see how extensive Jerome's answer was. So that alone calls for a replay. All right, because he gave such important nuggets as to why coaching is important. As a matter of fact, quite frankly, I think I'll utilize Jerome as my infomercial for my coaching. For coaching you upward. I mean, come on. I don't need to say a word. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of the things that I love what you said, I mean, you said so many great things, but one of the things that I love what you said, as you say, because we see it on social media a lot, when he says, oh, let me get my grind on, right? And as you said, when I see that word, sometimes I cringe. I like hard work. I will do my part. But as you said, I don't want to be grinding forever. I want to get to the point where I can definitely say, okay, you know what? I can do some level of coasting or delegation. You know what I mean? And let it work my, the all the energy and the sweat equity that I put in will now work for me, where I'm not grinding as hard, right?
Sure.
So great. All right. So guys, again, if you have any questions that you want to share, in terms of some of the things that Jerome just said, feel free to go ahead and post them there. Give us some loves, give us some hearts, and go ahead and share while you at it. Okay. All right. So moving on from there, one of the things, so you said all those great things that coaching does for you, and you're absolutely correct. But tell me, out of all the things that you just said, what prompted you to get a coach?
Good question. So again, I'm going to speak from a couple of different perspectives. So you had mentioned in my background that one of the first business I bought was a franchise.
Okay.
And it was at the master franchisee level. And so people who are not familiar with how franchises are set up, let's use one that they're familiar with. So McDonald's, you got corporate headquarters, and then most people just see the franchisees, right?
Right.
But however, in that situation, there's McDonald's corporate, then there's area developers in the middle. Those area developers or area directors, they provide coaching, they provide training, they provide support, so the franchisees can be successful. But that's behind the scenes, so people never see that. And so we had a similar setup where there was the corporate headquarters, there was the master franchisees or local franchisors, we were the support system, and then we had our franchisees. And when I reflect on how we were able to get those guys out the gate relatively quickly because of the support we provided, the coaching we provided, I started thinking about my current business, which is independent, is not familiar, it's not situated or affiliated with a franchise. I'm pretty much a sole business owner. Developed the concept on my own. However, for the last couple of years, although I've been growing at a nice incremental pace, I know I could be doing more. So now I was starting to experience frustration because I know I could do more. There's more potential in the business. There's more potential in the industry. There's more of the region I can capture. So putting my thinking cap back on to where I just described how franchises work, I thought, okay, my missing link is a coach. And for me, a coach who was familiar, experienced, and successful in the industry that I'm in right now, that I want to capitalize on. So frustration led me to take that step and go find a coach who has been successful in this industry.
Oh, okay. So I can't give credit to the person who said it, but I read something or heard something last week where somebody said, it was on LinkedIn, and someone said that unfortunately, a lot of times that we go after, whether it be our dream or passion or just that next level, more from pain than from desire or pleasure. Right. Sadly, that a lot of us wait till we get to that point where we are feeling that pain as like, OK, I can't take it anymore. So, you fell into that bucket, too, which I guess you're normal because a lot of
exactly. And my former pain came from not from failing, because there's guys in our industry who come and go and they're failing. But mine came from a goal that I set for myself that I wasn't reaching quite quick enough.
Okay.
And so that was a degree of pain and frustration for me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it came from not being able to get to that goal as quickly as you had wanted to, or the goal that you set for yourself in terms of the timeline. Okay.
You got it. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. So again, I'm seeing Ronnie. Thanks for watching us. Again, please go ahead and share. We are talking about how do you separate yourself from the competition, primarily geared towards coaching, like what are some of the benefits of coaching that Jerome just recently shared with us in terms of telling us what drove him to finally get a coach. And in his side, it was the pain component. They said it's either pleasure or pain. We have two avenues that we go down, and most of us are geared towards it, push towards it when there is pain. But again, it doesn't really matter how we get there as long as we get there. All righty. So just moving on from there. So I'm going to take this a little bit out of the business realm and take it to the person, Jerome. And so with that, my question to you is, how has coaching deepened your awareness as it relates to the impact on your life, spiritually, professionally, corporately? But I don't want to talk about the business growth yet. I don't want to talk about the persona of Jerome. So how has coaching impacted you that way?
Well, there's a little saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Okay.
And so, and that's kind of a leadership principle, which can be, of course, as you know, being a leadership coach, that leadership principle can be implemented, can be nurtured, can be highlighted through coaching. And so coaching has brought that awareness that, okay, yes, you have various people in your circle. Some are personal friends, some are associates, some are relatives. You still have to show them who you are as an individual. And that builds the trust. That trust will enhance relationships both personally and professionally. And it gives awareness of those individuals around you. So, for example, I can pretty much now, because I've been a coach in one realm, and now I'm receiving coaching in another realm. And also when things got tough for me personally, I hired a life coach as well.
Okay.
I can pretty much get a vibe from people in my circle as to how they're doing, what they're doing, and if they themselves could benefit from coaching. So that's how that quote unquote emotional intelligence has been enhanced by being the recipient of coaching. Okay,
so you mentioned the word emotional intelligence. So usually emotional intelligence has a lot to do with an awareness of self, right? Whether it be how you're being perceived or how you are projecting, and the impact on other people or in your external environment. So have you found that with that higher sense of emotional intelligence, have you found that it's improved your relationships, whether it be business or personal?
Yes, and it's improved both.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
because of the sense of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, I'm sorry, but my mind always, especially since I'm sitting in my office, my mind
Mm-hmm.
shifts to business. But with some of the other, and I'll use it loosely, professionals that I interact with, I can see very, very clearly and distinctly when some of their interaction with their customers or our mutual customers,
Mm-hmm.
how they could benefit from coaching.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you look at them and you can see they see dollar signs in their eyes, and they're
Mm-hmm.
totally missing the empathetic piece of their
Oh,
interaction with
okay.
that customer. And
Right.
I'm looking at it and I can see, oh Lord, they should be saying this, that, and the other, or they should be taking this particular situation, conversation, project in another
Mm-hmm.
area. But since they're just focused on one thing and maybe haven't received coaching that has heightened their emotional intelligence, I can see where they're going awry.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're saying that um, you, the emotional intelligence component that you develop through whether it be life coaching or even when you were doing your business coaching, it has afforded you the opportunity to basically tap into the client heart, that emotional space, and not just the
Correct.
the the, the financial component of it. Okay, all right. So
Correct.
and so,
I'll give you a good example. Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please, you.
No, here's an example. All right.
Mhm.
So I had a I'll say I had a subcontractor, right?
Okay,
Had him
okay.
go over to a customer's house to do a simple job.
Hmm.
He got to the customer's house. The customer wanted it originally one way, but then after discussing it with the subcontractor, they decided to have it done another way.
Hmm. Hmm.
The contractor didn't have the supplies, to be honest with you, which was a piece he could have gotten from Home Depot on them.
Okay, okay.
And so since the contractor didn't have the supply, left the customer, husband and wife, left the customer and called me and said, hey, I have a piece of drywall. I don't have drywall screws. I don't have tape. So I'm not going to do the job. I'm saying, well,
Mm.
just go to Home Depot because this customer needs this done. They've been waiting for a week and a half. She's about to have surgery within a couple of days. They want to make sure this kind of minute stuff is out of the way. Nah, Jerome, I don't feel like going to Home Depot. I don't want to do the job. Wait a minute. Didn't that customer, the husband and wife team, just tell you that they really needed it done? So he just
Okay,
totally missed the connection with the customer. And this is
right.
a customer, the husband part, the husband of the team,
Hmm.
he's in the cleaning industry. So he has the capability to refer a ton of business to the subcontractor. But the
Oh, wow.
subcontractor missed the personal connection and was
Hmm.
just thinking about the dollar signs of the job.
Oh, okay,
Lost
wow.
opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, based on what you're saying there, so you can see how things like that in that you would take it for granted, but as you said, it was a lost opportunity there, and that lost opportunity could also have a compound effect. You know what I mean? Because if you
Right,
said they have the ability to refer,
right.
referrals sometimes are your
Exactly.
lifeline. A lot of cases it is your lifeline.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm also seeing Edward. Thanks for joining us, Natalie, and Daniel. Also, thanks for joining us, guys. Please also be so awesome as to go ahead and share this live so other people can hear. Just so you know, the topic that we're talking about today is separate yourself from the competition. And one of the ways that we are sharing with you that we separate ourselves from the competition is basically getting coached, whether it be a leadership coach like someone like myself, or you are seeking a business coach, or as Jerome also mentioned, at one time he also hired a life coach. So he was sharing with us just different ways in which coaching itself has impacted his life from a personal as well as a just personal development basis, as well as a business component of it, and how it impacted him with his clients in being able to hear what the client is saying instead of just thinking about the dollars that are attached to it. So he develops those relationships that hopefully would also impact his lifetime legacy. So Carl, thanks for watching. And he says customer service is important. Thank you guys. Coleman, great topic this Sunday afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would even thank you even more if you go ahead and share the live so other people can hear the great information and wisdom that Jerome Williams is sharing with us. Angela, thanks. Leon, thanks for watching so far. All right, guys. So the next era that I wanted to go into. So switching you back a little bit to the business component of it. So you said coaching helped you to develop your awareness, to listen to the client, listen to the heart of the client, and also develop that relationship with the client. But how does coaching help you internally with your staff? So we spoke about the external impact, but now let's take it internal to your organization. What does it do for you in terms of your relationship and how you lead and manage the staff within gigantic cleanups?
So a couple of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching on the business realm, obviously is designed to help the business grow or whatever goals I verbalized to my coach that I wanted to achieve.
Right.
The subplot of that is inevitably it still rolls back around to the leader, which would be me.
Mm-hmm.
So leadership development becomes a part of that in the overall coaching plan. And with the leadership development, obviously that affects the relationships that I have with my workers, who I refer to them as team members. I don't really call them employees, that type of thing. Subcontractors, vendors, and the like, and obviously the customer. So having a coaching plan, again, inevitably leads to leadership, and the business is only going to thrive, grow, and expand as far as I'm willing as an individual, as a leader, to thrive, grow, expand, and that means nurturing the various people who are in my business circle, employees, subcontractors, that type of thing.
So give us an example. When you say nurture you said team members, I think you call them? When you said you nurture your team members, give us an example of that. Like what coaching changed for you that allowed you to nurture them in a way that was positive?
All right, so here's a good example. Because I can do a little bit of everything, I'm used to doing a little bit of everything. So, but in order for me to grow and to expand, one of the things I had to do is release some things, release some responsibilities. So here's one that relates directly to my team. The one that goes out to customer, educates the customer, and takes the information, create a proposal based on what we discussed.
Jerome, you're breaking up a little bit. Just really? 1 quick second. You're breaking up a little bit. Hopefully you're attached to Wi-Fi and your headset.
Yep.
Okay, just
hold on.
Take a millisecond just to do a check. So guys, while Jerome is checking on his connections there, so Edward is saying great topic. Christina, awesome information. Angela, you shared. Thank you so much. And the rest of you guys, I would love if you would be like Angela and also go ahead and share this live. Thank you so very much. And again, the topic that we're talking about today is how do you separate yourself from the competition? As it relates to, coaching, what does it do for you? What are some of the positive impacts that it would have on your life personally and professionally? And in this case, also, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, in this case, we have a serial entrepreneur here. So yeah, awesome. Okay. Melissa Ann, thank you so much. Yes, I can. Okay. All right.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Okay.
So this is the last thing you heard.
Well, you were breaking up. Try one more time. Can I hear you? Can you speak? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So what was the last thing you heard me say on your end?
To be honest, I don't even remember right now, but because I was busy trying to give you time to fix yourself. But basically, the question that I asked, so we can start over on that question.
Right.
The question that I asked
Okay.
basically was, coaching helped you, and you were to give me an example of how
Right.
you nurtured your team members.
Right. Gotcha. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's an example.
Okay.
I'm used to doing the sales calls, right? I'll go out, meet with the customer, help them with it, whatever problem they may have, grab the information, the content, create the proposal, and then present the proposal to the potential customer and close the deal.
Okay.
So I had to release some responsibilities. One of the responsibilities released, can you hear me?
Uh, yes. I'm not
Okay.
sure what's going on your end, but yes, I can hear you. But hopefully it'll be
I'm
okay.
connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
All right. So what I basically started doing is training some of my technicians to
Mm-hmm.
do the sales calls themselves, right?
Okay.
And if a transaction closes from their interaction with a customer, I
Mm-hmm.
give them a commission pay for that.
Okay.
So now what that does for them, obviously, is a financial boost for them, but is a
Right.
big time confidence boost for them as well.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's one of the effects of coaching. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to give them more responsibility. They're starting to even feel more like an integral part of the team,
Right.
and their confidence is through the roof.
Oh, okay, okay. That's a great example. So basically, so they're getting paid on both ends. They're actually being able to feel those costs for you. They're getting the commission pay on that, and I guess when they also
Right.
go out on the field and actually do the work, so it's a great incentive. And in addition to
Absolutely.
that, they're receiving training to increase their
Right.
skills in another area. Okay, so that's a great
Absolutely.
example. So,
Yes.
guys, as you can see, again, Jerome is giving us some really good information. And Edward, thanks for sharing. Destiny, very informative. Thank you so much, guys. Great feedback here we're receiving. And I see Paulette. Thank you for joining us, guys. Again, go ahead and share. All right, so moving on from there, uh, one of
Hmm.
the other, we already gave us some good examples before I even got to that question, as to say, how does it impact your your clients, potential clients, and also your staff. Now let's go to one of the things that really matters so you can maintain your business is your bottom line. So you don't really have to give us like hardline numbers, but in terms of percentages, what would you say the business coaching, the life coaching, how did it impact your life in terms of your life, business in terms of your bottom line as growth, from a growth perspective?
Okay. So I'll give a couple of examples as it relates to business and growth. And sometimes business growth is kind of a backward concept. For example,
Okay.
in reduction of losing losses. 4 years ago, here's an example. 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for ways to grow my business on my own. I found out about an insurance network in my business. Um, if a homeowner has an insurance loss, they call their insurance company. The insurance company usually is affiliated with a network of contractors, right?
Okay.
And that third party network will call the contractor and say, hey, go out to ABC Home and help them with the frozen pipe that burst and it flooded their basement, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, 4 years ago, I had an opportunity to join one of those networks, but I was looking, my style, my personality is I do research before joining something. So I
Right.
was trying to do some research to see if this particular network was legitimate. Because the year before, I had joined kind of another pseudo network, plopped down $1,600 and didn't get one opportunity, one
Oh wow.
project out of it.
Okay.
And they had some pretty decent references. And so with this one, 4 years ago, I'm trying to do some research. I'm asking around. I'm asking my local competitors, Some of them, well, none of them wanted to share the information that I needed. Hey, is this a good network? Does it provide opportunities for you? So the bot could not find out from any whether this network I wanted to join worked.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to a business coach who specializes in the restoration industry. That's why I know this topic is important for everybody. Now,
Okay.
I'm talking to this business coach, and he says, all right, Jerome, in order to grow your business, one of the things you have to do is join this particular network. And I'm scratching my head saying, wait a minute, that network sounds familiar. And then I realized that was the network I wanted to join 4 years ago. And I said, are you sure? He said, am I sure? Now, let me just tell you about my business coach. My business coach sold his business 5 years ago for a hefty amount of money where he doesn't have to work anymore. Okay? And so that's why he decided
no more grinding, huh?
So he says to me, Jerome, one of the ways I was able to sell my business is because of this network I'm telling you to join. They were a part of my business model when I sold my business.
Oh, wow.
And so you have to join this. Now, I'm thinking, okay, let me put the pencil to the paper. 4 years ago, I couldn't find one person to tell me that this was a good network to join. Right. So I lost opportunity. Now, in my industry, let's say a basic water loss is about a net of $1,500. This network will send me about 2 opportunities per month. So if I multiply the 2 opportunities times the $1,500, obviously that's $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month times 12 months in the year, that's $36,000, right? So if I take a snapshot of the $36,000 that I lost annually, because I didn't have a coach to tell me, hey, that's a good network to join, I lost about $144,000 in opportunity just because I couldn't pick up the phone and ask a coach, hey, what do you think about this network? Is it legit? Is it a good one to join? Will they send me opportunities?
Right.
Just total waste.
Right.
And I had paid the $600 fee that they asked for 4 years ago. Sometimes it's being able to pick up the phone, call the coach, ask him something that that you have no expertise, your competitors share with you, and he or she's that resource to say, oh yeah, that's a good one, do it.
Okay. So I'm losing you a little bit again with sound. I'm going to have your coach also make sure we get better connections.
I'm not sure what's happening because I have you on Wi-Fi.
Okay. All right. So I'm just messing with you. We're gonna go through it because at least we're getting the core of what you're saying. You know me by now. You know I always have to mess with you. So hey, that's part of the course. Well, so guys, anytime you come on any of my lives, you gotta be open to taking a little bit of ribbon here and there because I believe in having fun while getting valuable information. As you see,
I want to make sure everybody at least catches the message.
Yes, we are definitely. So Georgia said, Coach your way upward. Absolutely. And then she's also saying, research before you join. And Edward is saying, smart business move. Absolutely. So Alonzo, I see you watching us too. Can you please go make sure you share for us? Sarah, thank you guys for watching us. For those of you who have joined us a little bit late, we're basically talking about the topic, how do you separate yourself from the competition via the aid of coaching? So Jerome Williams, who is our serial entrepreneur and currently the owner of Gigantic Cleanups, he has basically been giving us a lot of nuggets that basically tell us how he lost out on a lot of money because he did not go forward and get the coaching that he needed a few years back. And when he finally did, he's now been able to benefit from that and being able to move his business forward. And his ultimate goal is not to do that grind that everybody talks about, right? To be able to leave that grind to the wayside or at least delegate it to someone else in the meantime, while he's able to probably emulate his current business coach and sell that business for a hefty profit and, basically, just coast. Okay. So coast, not coach in that case. Okay, good. All right, guys. So thank you, Jerome, for that. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this. Okay, so when you're looking for a coach, so that's to give our listening audience here some good advice. So when you're looking for a coach, whether it be a leadership coach like myself, or you're looking for a business coach or a life coach, what are some of the qualities or just the key things that you look for before you hire and settle on a coach?
Okay. Obviously, you want to have kind of a one-on-one dialogue with that particular coach. I know a lot of coaches offer a 30-minute consultation, 45-minute, whatever the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
But be prepared for that interview, because their time is money, and they're evaluating you as well as you're evaluating them.
Right.
So have that conversation. Do your own individual research. You can find a lot of good stuff on the internet. I actually found something on the internet, and I challenged my current business coach, and he said, you know what? No one has ever asked me that question.
Okay.
And then he proceeded to answer the question in a professional, sincere manner where I was comfortable with his answer, and inevitably moved on to a coaching relationship with him. Obviously, you want them to have the experience and also the expertise. For me, the industry-specific expertise was what I was looking for. And then you can go with some reviews, look at some of the reviews. I actually called one of his current students, and he didn't know that I called one of his current students. And his current student had a ton of good things to say about him, his program. I think we who are not being coached at the time make it a little bit more difficult than it is. When you're thinking about coaching, it's really kind of simple. Does that person have good content that you need that whatever you're going after, whether it's personal development or business development?
Right.
All right. With that content, do they map out a strategy to implement the content? And then if that strategy seems sound, then the third piece is, all right, is it producing results?
Okay.
And will it produce results? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell, those three steps. And when I evaluated my current coach's program, I saw that. I saw good content. I saw he had a strategy to implement that content.
Right.
And then we talked about the results that I should be receiving during, and then some of it will occur obviously after our coaching season is over. Right.
Okay, so what you spoke about is in a lot of cases can go across a lot of different type of coaching. But let's switch it over a little bit now to say you also had a life coach at one point. It may be a little bit different, where in terms of the structure that you would get from a business coach, it will be a bit different there because life is different. Life is a bit more fluid.
Right.
So in terms of looking for a coach back then, in terms of a life coach, what was different for you than a business coach? In some of the things that you looked for?
With the life coach, I think what I was looking for was someone who had some knowledge, some experience, and the situations that I was dealing with at the time, and some empathy, yet was strong enough to challenge me to some action steps. And you don't want a person who's I didn't want a person who just wanted to listen to me and then hung up and said, okay, well, we'll chat next week or 2 weeks from now. And then I had nothing to go off of. We had strategies that we implemented to move me to the next step out of that season or out of that turmoil that I may have been in at that time.
So, and you, within that, if you can put your mind on a rewind, right? If you can't remember, that's fine. We'll move on. But if you can remember back then with that coach, whatever it is, what goal you wanted to attain at the time, or whatever it is in your life you were going through that you wanted to work it out with a coach. Within that 30-minute inquiry call that you had with that coach, did you recall what is it that coach said that allowed you connect and say, this is the coach for me? Do you recall that conversation or no?
Yeah, unfortunately, with that particular instance, I don't remember what was the
Okay.
trigger that said, hey, made me feel comfortable saying, okay, this is the life coach for me. On that one, I don't remember.
Okay, well, that's fine. All right, so we can move
Yeah.
on. So, guys, again, thanks to the rest of you for joining so far. Again, please go ahead and share. We are talking about how do you separate yourself from the competition, especially with the help of coaching. So, all right. So, and next, we're almost towards the top of the hour. Let's try to get to a few questions that we have here. It said that there is a ripple effect between the success of the client with the coach, right? And the organization. Speaking from your experience, have you seen this? And if so, can you give us some examples?
I definitely see it. And ironically, most people see it every day. They just, for example, if I go back to the franchise world, appealing to new business owners who want to jump into business ownership, but
Right.
don't necessarily is the franchise. Part of the field is that they have a system, and part of that system involves coaching, training, and ongoing support.
Right.
So you see it every day. If you think about if for the ladies on the live, if you think about hair salons, right?
Okay.
And how the mom and pop hair salons go in and out of business so quickly when they're independently run. And a lot of times it's because they don't have the support, they don't have the coaching, they don't have the training to keep them afloat or take them to the next level or help them broaden their expertise, their experience, and their marketplace. And I'm using hair salons because the franchise that I was affiliated was a franchise hair salon concept.
Right.
And so as opposed to a franchise hair salon concept or one that's corporately owned that has a chain, but even that chain has a lot of support.
Right.
There's night and day. There's night and day in terms of the service they receive and they provide and their longevity, as well as their annual profits at the end of the year. So you can look at it from that perspective as well.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's a good example, as you said, of the ripple effect between the success of the coach and the client, and ultimately the taking it down to from an organizational point of view. Okay, so great example.
Right. Yep.
All righty. So to the audience that we have here, what is it that you would say to them if they're hesitating about hiring a coach, whether it be a leadership coach, whatever form of coaching that they need at this time for their life? What would you say to that person who's hesitating about getting a coach or being coached?
Wow. I needed another 15 minutes for that one. Because when I was in the position to help people, buy a business and then become coached, I heard all the excuses in the world. Even I created some of my own excuses before I hired this particular coach. But I would say you kind of have to be real with yourself. For example, and this may seem a little harsh or stern, but on the real side, if you're a person who's really just kind of satisfied with being average, coaching is not for you.
Oh, wow.
You got to have a real heart-to-heart with yourself. And we all know people who always talk about how frustrated they are. And then you see them 6 months from now and they're still frustrated. So if you're that type of person who's just continually talk about being frustrated, but never do anything to alleviate the frustration, coaching is not for you yet, because you're not willing to deal with that pain yet. If you're a person who's extremely prideful with borderlines on arrogance, coaching is probably not for you yet, because you won't be receptive to the coach's content, ideas, and methodologies. So the person who is really perfect for coaching is the one who is frustrated and or seized by fear at the moment. Why? Because fear is a great motivator.
Okay.
Fear makes you get your butt in action. And so if that person is placed in space because they want to do something to get out of that fear mode, remove the pain from whatever it is, their personal life. And so piece after dealing with the fear is just dealing with what I would like to that hurdle is to make excuses. Okay. Right? So if I take it from a business perspective, and I know business people who need to get coached, or when I was coaching franchisees, you would hear every excuse in the book as to why the person won't move forward. Oh, something happened last month. I had to use the money to do something else. Actually, I used that one with I used that one with the coach that I hired.
So you can testify.
I guess so. I was supposed to hire him 1 month, and then like 2 of my company vehicles broke down, so I had to use that money to get the vehicles fixed. But guess what? Although I was able to delay the coach, my pain, my frustration was still there. And then the following month, some other financial emergency came up, and I said, you know what? No, this is a trick. I'm going to move forward, and I moved forward and getting the coach. So you'll hear everything. Something financially came up. I was going to do it. I was going to do the coaching with a business partner. My business partner moved to Japan. Someone ate my bank statements. All kinds of excuses. So that last hurdle to get over to jump into what we really need, which is that personal devotion, is to eliminate the excuses. And all the excuses are really based on fear. And I like to say face the fear and do this that will help you. Doing research. I'm
going to ask you to repeat that again because you broke up. You said face the fear and something. Can you repeat that for us?
Face the fear and do it anyway.
Okay, face the fear and do it anyway. Okay.
Right.
All righty. So, okay. So I am loving what I'm hearing so far, and no, I'm just watching the time and determine how far I want to continue to go over the time.
I took you over the limit. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You had a lot to say, and you had some good things. As Jerome said it, as he said, some of his, he labeled it me. I didn't say it. He says maybe a little bit harsh. In some of the things that he said is like, okay, in terms of whether or not you're ready to be coached. Some of what he says, of course, is true, but I would probably reframe some of it in saying it's not necessarily that you're not ready to be coached. You're just not really seeing the value at this point. You're not seeing the value of it. You need somebody like Prophet Jerome that can put it in layman numbers for you, like how we shared earlier in the live, where, for 4 years, when he was, or 3 years rather, when he was to multiply that number out, right? How much money he basically lost. It was $36,000, then times by X amount of additional years, how much money he lost. And, his coaching probably would not have cost him that much. So obviously he was able to see the tangible negative impact of actually not getting coached. So guys, so far, I'm definitely hoping that you're enjoying the conversation. And for a lot of you who joined late, right? Because I did see we got a lot of people later on, and I'm grateful and happy to have you here. But I'm going to impress upon you to, after I post the, live, how Facebook, you have to wait a second or two to be able to watch the replay. I am going to encourage you to watch the replay because Jerome did share a lot of very, very good pieces of information that if you are an entrepreneur or if you are someone who is thinking about becoming one or transitioning from your corporate role into, business on your own, or even just some life information that can actually help you, I think it would be very beneficial for you to go hit replay and listen to this and share it with, people that you love and care about, and you want to see them grow. You want to have them separate themselves from the competition to be able to go forward. So, Jerome, what I am going to do is to give you the last word, the abbreviated last word, I might add, in terms of what you'd like to say, to help someone to move forward. Do you have any parting words and ideas? And you can also feel free to share some additional information about gigantic cleanups that you'd like to share with us.
Yeah, the best thing I could say is every day we're interacting with businesses who are being coached, mm-hmm. and you're going to their restaurants, you're going to their establishments. They're mm-hmm. benefiting from you, and you may need to be coached, but are you benefiting yet? Are right. you haven't taken that step to mm-hmm. receiving business coaching or leadership coaching, what have you? So the best investment that you can make right mm-hmm. now at this moment is to invest in yourself, and coaching is that link that will take you to that next level. If I could recommend a book, one of my favorite books is the Magic of Thinking Big, and that will help. That may get over that mental hurdle mm-hmm. of the fear of investing in coaching, which again, absolutely the best investment you can make to separate yourself from the competition.
Okay, awesome. So guys, you heard it here. So to coin the phrase, you heard it here first. Anyway, so guys, you heard, Jerome share some stuff with us. Jerome, I don't think I heard you say anything about gigantic cleanup suit, and I would love for you to just, share a little bit about your business, where it's located. If people want to get in contact with you, we'll drop the link in the live, in terms of, somebody, at least if they know of anyone that need your kind of services, whether it be now or, obviously these things happen in life. You will have, trust me, you will have something in your life that you would need Jerome's kind of service. So again, just if you could just share that information with them, just for them to know.
So we're Gigantic Cleanups and Construction, located in Hamilton, New Jersey. That's Mercer County, New Jersey. We service New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania. Currently looking to grow to some other states. Our area of specialty is emergency water services, like emergency water removal if your house gets flooded from busted pipes, that type of thing. We do mold remediation. We do smoke and fire restoration. God forbid someone's house catches on fire, that type of thing. We do allergy. If people have allergies, they get the doctor's input, but they don't get the input from someone who can help alleviate allergies in the home. And then finally, construction services, total rebuilds. We do repairs, those types of things as well.
Oh, okay. I'm happy you said all that, because I knew some parts of your business, but I didn't even know to the extent. Like, for instance, I didn't know about the allergy part. It reminds me of that movie House. You remember? House would go to the medical stuff, but he sent his staff to go check what's happening underneath the sink, right? And you'll see them swabbing. Right. So that popped in my head when you said that. Strange brain of mine. Okay, what can I tell you? Well, okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is Judy Ann Chung. I am a leadership coach, and I am the owner of Coaching You Upward, where we basically work with go-getters, high performers who just wants to get it done in terms of taking their ideas from concept to reality. And I also focus and work with women who basically want to regroup, refocus, and revision to live the life that awaits them, that rewarding life that happens when you step into your calling. So guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you earlier for bearing with us in the technical difficulties that we have, but that's why we call it live. Things happen. So again, I'm very happy and for how everything went. And I am also will be grateful to get some feedback from you guys in terms of, did you get any value from this? And if there are any leaders or topics that you would like to hear us talk about, from whether it be entrepreneurial or just leadership qualities, or women who want to, as I said, to refocus or revision your lives. Please feel free to hit me on the inbox, drop it in the comments field, whatever works best for you. I am more than happy to hear you out and see how we can strategize and go forward. Give us some loves, give us some hearts, and share and tell you guys all about it. And while you're at it, feel free to also like my page and commenting on my page at Coaching You Upward. Again, guys, thank you so much. Jerome Williams, thank you for your time. Much appreciated, and be blessed. And I love you all. Wakanda style. Okay, take care. All righty. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.